Is everyone happy after some technical difficulties?
Speaking of technical difficulties, the controller's not working again.
Emptying magazines is something he can't see, and Raiden doing Tai Chi because he's had a stroke.
He just stick his hand up my ass?
Well, you had to check your pulse.
Oh yeah, it's loose. He's dead. What the fuck? Spaghetti. I guess I'm ready too, so howdy folks.
It's Montal Gear.
Yeah, Gordomir. Sounds like a bad disease.
Mortal Gar? Sounds like a bad fish. Watch out for the Mortal Gar!
Alright. I don't think we're within fucking 40 crashes of counting how many crashes we've had.
It says Dep's mic is very low. Apparently I'm very high. Apparently I'm too high. You have me too high. Apparently.
Okay.
Text is coming through okay. Dep, you need to be louder.
I need to be louder. Okay, I've moved.
You need to scream. You need to scream. Alpha 4 Zulu X-ray. Alpha 4 Zulu X-ray.
I'm not really a screaming person.
Neither am I.
I've got to go hide under the truck, though. This is a sniper battle.
I've learned I'm also not a lot of different people. I learned I'm not a fan of like puppet shows. Maybe that's too much information, but like, I saw somebody playing with puppets, right?
Yeah.
Once, like an adult doing a puppet show. And he was doing the puppets, doing the puppets and doing all the little voices. And I thought, wow, that's really interesting. And I looked at the guy doing the puppets, and he gave me this look. Like, you know what I'm into. He just gave me this look that made me very uncomfortable since I'm not like puppets.
I don't think I've got... No?
Okay. Music is
put
loud.
on the game plan. Ask.
Okay, so they're saying the music is loud. And Whiskey Philistine Green says everyone's quiet compared to the in-game volume. Game is overpowering both of us.
Okay, I suspect that might happen.
What have you done?
Well, the music volume here is just all over the place in this game.
Well, yeah.
And the in-game controls are at best paltry. And at worst completely fucking useless.
So how are we gonna resolve the audio issue?
I'm doing it with the master fucking volume.
Yeah, this is one of the things I've learned in Kojima games is that even such modest things as the soundscape are not for you to think about. Those are his domain.
Yeah, I know it was a giant pain in the ass in Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3. But, like right here, I'm really missing the maximalist control scheme where you could lean out even a little bit further if you hit 8 combos of buttons.
That's fair. And I'm gonna say this, that's very important. And I do mean very important.
Uh-huh.
I had somebody in the aux message me
Yeah.
and say, you know what? If you guys think that Kojima is full of crap and all of his what if, whataboutism, and what have you,
Yeah.
as a setting is just absolute bad shit nonsense. What is the most unrealistic scenario you guys could come up with that would be more realistic than anything Kojima had? And I realize that opens a really interesting threshold, a very wide envelope, if you will, of things that are, you know, like...
I didn't like that at all.
I did not like that at all. That was gross.
It's... Oh, it's because she found me.
Oh, she's undulating as she walks
Oh,
across
yeah.
the coast. Because Kojima cannot have someone walk in such insinuous, you know, pleasing ways, because he's weird. But what is the weirdest you think we could get away with for, like, a military operation? Because weirder than normal is easy. Ah, splendid.
Weirder than what?
Well, I was going to say weirder than reality is fairly easy, because reality is fairly weird. All you have to do is add fake people into it, and then it's weirder than reality. But
yeah,
subjectively, I'm wondering, what is the weirdest scenario we could come up with for a game and a concept? Like stealth operations, you know what I mean? And something video game. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how Kojima conceptualized all this, but
no.
I have an idea.
Hamster, that picture is Snake beefing with God himself for this game.
I see. I thought it was him, like when he stepped on a Lego. Like, ah! So here, I have an idea for a game that is less ridiculous than Metal Gear Solid and more realistic. It is 1967.
Okay.
The Sheridan tank has been approved for operation.
Mm-hmm.
You are Task Force Shalala.
You are
airdropped in with your Sheridan tank, and you have the Shalala missile and other whiz-bang, crazy, cutting-edge 1967 technology as you fight an unrealistic and insane enemy. And I would absolutely make the enemy the bad guys, the bad guy echelon group. Oh, I forget the name they used. The Esperanto Brigade, the U.S. Army used to opt for against.
You're talking about the Circle Trigon Party.
Ah, yes. See, I think that would...
The Circle Trigonist. First
so you have
armor.
to... Yeah, so you have to drop down with your Sheridan. You know what I mean? And you have to go behind enemy lines.
And fight the actual commie Nazis?
Yeah, you have to fight the commie Nazis with your Sheridan tank and Shalala missile. We have to come up with some bad guys, though. Various sub-bosses, right, for the overall plot. Because you were sent behind enemy lines, airdropped in the Sheridan, the most airdroppable of our tanks at that time.
Yeah,
That's the most accurate statement I can make about the Sheridan. Let's see.
I am
what
2,000 points shy of the thing.
Yeah, I know. That would make it so fucking cool. You need to scavenge more bodies. But look, so let's think about weapons. Let's think. Oh, sorry, bad guys. What kind of bad guys? It's 1967. It's behind enemy lines. The Cold War has gone hot. One very aluminum tank goes in.
Exceptionally aluminum tanks.
Very much. So let me think. Who do they have to fight? Like we have to give them a bad guy to fight. Like we need to give them. Oh shit! I wonder if that guy's money. They have to fight a guy named Iron Waffle, right? And he's Belgian.
Yeah, he's the Belgian mercenary commander.
Right, and they call him the Iron Waffle because he's Belgian, but they don't call him the Waffle because half his face was burned with a waffle iron in the Belgian Congo during the war by Force Publique or something. And so you have that guy and he's like, I'm the Iron Waffle. Well, he probably say it in like French or, you know, like Flemish, but you know what I mean. And so that's like a guy you have to fight. And all of his dudes have ascots and berets. Not just berets, ascots and berets.
Okay.
Yeah, and they all have wingtip. They all have wingtip shoes. And he calls them the fancy boys.
Okay.
He's like, you are no match for my fancy boys. And then he blows a whistle and they all come out.
This is still sounding very much just like the Congo.
Look, I'm just trying to think of fun bad guys that would be fun to blow up, right?
You're telling me that,
get some...
you know, Little Miss fucking odd cosplay here isn't a fun bad guy?
No, it's not. Nope. Like, you know, I'm just gonna say this. Like, I would love to come up with other... Oh, yeah. Dude, Law Rocket is perfect for CQB. I was gonna say this. Any rocket is good for CQB. You just need to... Oh, she's gonna find you. She's gonna come get you. She's gonna squeeze your tootsies.
Yep, and crash the game.
Well, that's what she does. She's very good at it. I hope she doesn't. That would be unpleasant. You know, I mean, the Law Rocket's not a bad rocket system.
For what it is, I mean, it's super fucking compact.
It's disposable.
Yeah.
It is a disposable anti-tank guided, well, not guided, but it's a disposable anti-soft skin armor at this point thing.
Yeah.
But it'll still go through the top armor of practically anything. Source me, munitions guy, but it's a good system, but it's really good for bunkers and all sorts of other stuff that you can just blow up with it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it does what we always said we wanted the AT-4 for, which was general purpose explosives work that is not exclusively anti-tank.
I hate to be that guy with the HK, but you need to set your diopter one turn to the left for the V or open notch 0 setting.
Yeah,
this is the wrong diopter setting for this. As an HK guy, I have to say that. You are using the wrong diopter setting and thus voiding the HK warranty. Make sure you get the diopter key so that when you twist the diopter, you can then reset the 0 at 0, 32, and 200 meters. Then you have to set this... Oh, I hate the manual! The HK manual might as well say sterilize all your parts in Evian water, which you have to buy from us, which has the HK stamp on it.
Yeah. Non-HK water will void the warranty.
I remember I asked for a fucking clip. It was a little ring clip that, before the PTR rifles came over, before the tooling for the PTR rifles came over and then got retooled to accept American thread adapters for muzzle brakes, they used the old Kraut thread adapter, which requires this like little metal clip that has to go up inside of a ring, which is held in by friction. And the reasons the Germans did this is because it is impossible to move without the force of God. So you have to get in there with needle-nose pliers and pry that thing closed and then unscrew the muzzle device. And it's just one of those 10,000 little HK tricks you learn where you're like, why?
Yeah.
I mean...
Mein Gott in Himmel, why would you design it like this?
Well, when I put the HK-21 charging handle on your rifle, I told you what I had to do to get that in there, right?
You told me, as you were frustrated at the time, that it was exceptionally difficult and you no longer wish to think about that part.
Well, let me tell you what happened. So, to get the cocking handle of an HK-21 or a G3 or any of those Series 4 rifles out of the, you know, out of that little bit, there's a little elbow spring in there that has about the force of, I don't know, 8,000 suns exploding. It is a very tense spring that if you use the wrong pliers on it will mar the pliers. okay? It is very, very, very dense metal.
I don't remember her fucking dropping out of there like a moose giving birth.
That is gross. Oh my god. Oh, UNC Samurai says, I listened to the most recent episode of the BPL podcast this weekend. I'm sorry, your 24 hours of lemons joke did not get the appreciation it deserved.
I appreciate you saying so. I don't remember the joke, so I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I remember thinking about it as you said it, but I do not remember laughing. And if so, I apologize.
Man, it's almost like being on fours for a long time makes your legs, get all pins and needly.
Ma'am, please, just go home. Please, ma'am. Ma'am, I'll call your mom to collect you.
The cries.
Ma'am, please.
The cries of babies.
I
I
don't
think
have
she
time for
smothered her
this.
children to escape the Serbs or something like that. I forget.
Why is it that just Kojima goes, I need a backstory for a character. What can I do? Ah, yes. Let me troll the
Why she's-
deepest, saddest.
Oh, she's still got the auto-tune when she's out of her suit.
Because she's going to be a star, I guess. I
Is
don't
she like the
fucking
pimp
know.
from, Oh, it's a wolf.
Oh, Saints Row.
Yeah, from Saints Row.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'd say
I
that the-
only half
Yeah.
formed that thought before I said it.
Oh, it's a ghost wolf, man.
Ghost
That
wolf.
makes sense.
It's probably the ghost of Sniper Wolf. We're gonna... she pissed herself.
You know, Kojima is
She's
too...
got a thing about that.
Kojima really likes pee, and
So-
he thinks that it conveys things.
Hold on, for it to leak out of that suit, that means that that's a porous membrane. It was designed to do that.
Forgive me.
Ew.
Despite looking like latex.
Mandatory pissing scene. That's a Kojima hallmark.
Uh-huh.
It's like, what is missing from this scene to make this character, interesting? Ah, yes, piss. I'm gonna have my character
Everybody's
just to
least
watch it.
favorite bodily.
So
You can cry if you want.
when it comes to getting that little spring out of there, there's this option where you have to line up that little hole with two holes that are in both sides of the charging handle, and it will not sit there because of how it's designed. So then you have to run in one go perfectly while shifting the weight of the impact as you roll the hammer through. You have to run a pin and shift that thing without moving the spring at all. Because if that spring moves, it's gone forever.
Cried myself
You will never find it again. So this pin is held in there with so much strength that I held the pin and I braced the rifle with a block, and I had Goat swing the hammer as hard as he could, and it barely moved it. It is a bastard to get that pin out. Well, Kojima kicked me out for making something funny. Well, that's what you get. I guess you should just walk away and let her freeze to death? I don't know.
Well, no, she'll just keep following me like a puppy.
Give her an iPod. iPod fix all, says Green Whiskey Philistine.
Here, have some consumerism.
I would just say lay a landmine down, because if you lay a landmine down while walking away and saying, I have warned you, I'm a free man on the land traveling.
Nah, she dodges it. I know.
She dodges the mine.
Yeah, she dodges the mine. I forget how to take fucking cameras shots. But she'll pose for you in like Japanese fucking kawaii poses if you point a camera at her.
If ever I needed something about sensitivity and massive trauma, Kojima has taught me it's okay to laugh at everyone, including those less fortunate than you and born with birth defects. Thank you, Kojima.
Yeah. I think we've got one more of these. Yeah, we've got one more of these. Yeah, that does not look healthy.
Troublemint says Snake loses the ability to control himself if you piss in your actual controller during this part.
Oh, she's got to throw in the Britney Spears hip cock while she's writhing in pain. Thanks, Kojima.
That Britney Spears thing, That's gonna be like the Elvis hip chuck, but for the 1990s.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird how subtle things like that live on a long, long time, ain't it?
It is. Oh, hey, the useless robot that Otacon controls, that for whatever reason doesn't have a cup of warm piss ready for him to piss himself to. It's going to the door now. It couldn't have done that at any point in the.
I don't think the piss thing is just. Yeah, I mean that's rough. I don't know why he puts piss in everything.
No, either. Now we've got a railgun, which has a trigger for some reason, even though it was like permanently mounted to the dog exosuit, which has since disappeared.
You know, the one thing I've learned about bespoke weapons mounts and their limited availability of parts interoperability is that you can just take them and walk around. Like, if you take the auto-braided Super Rapid 76 Compact or a Super Volcano or anything like that, you can just walk around with that at all times. No big deal. You can just walk around with that at all times. Just, you don't need a ship or a tank or a gun or a power system to drive those hydraulics. You don't need 76 mil gun rounds that are, VT fused for the system. You don't need any of those things.
None of that.
You can just have it. You can just have it. And Ukrainian taproot, you're not wrong. Like, I guess Kojima's milieu is piss if Tarantino has feet, right?
One day, they came across an enemy unit. So she took her brother and hid in an abandoned shack. And then her brother started to cry.
Man, is this just bad background stuff or what?
Yeah.
How would he know this?
That's a really good question. Well, actually, I know why. It's because he's actually with the Patriots, and he's hiding it from us. But, spoiler
Why
alert.
would he share this? Why would he share this then?
Wasn't crying anymore. Horrified, she pulled her hand away.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wasn't
Like,
breathing.
why?
They say wolves eat their own pups.
Yeah, UNC Samurai says Tarantino has issues. Kojima has back catalogs.
Carrying her dead brother in her arms. She had visions.
I agree.
A wolf walking alongside her. Every night the wolf would howl and cry, just like her brother did that day.
That was her brother, not her kids.
She made it to a government-run refugee camp. But by then, her brother's body had rotted away. The camp was crowded with refugees like herself.
Okay, all in favor of skipping this before it
I think we
crashes
could just
again.
be. I think we should skip before it crashes because rather than cutscenes where something's happening that we can
Alright,
make fun
that's
of,
two.
this
That's
adds
good enough
nothing.
for me.
Skip. It's like gentlemen don't read each other's mail, right?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. I really do. And I think that when it comes to character backstories should be something that you, the player, have to slowly work at and slowly slice at. And they give you a version, their mind's eye, of what happened. And that's it. They don't give you, like, a perfect recollection of the series of events with full accountability. No one does that. At different points in your life, you look back and think of different things, and you go, well, maybe I was the bastard, or maybe they were the bastards, or you know what I mean. That's just life. But what's really weird is you see Kojima do stuff like this, and you know that some animators spent like 10 million hours doing it, and then millions and millions and millions of people and reviewers like clapped their fucking hands together and were like, the dog should carry the lady away, it's symbolic. and people said that this was a masterpiece. And I'm like, well, right, but Locust Labs can animate a hunchback in an afternoon, and nobody's kissing their ass. I'm just trying to shout out, there are a lot of people out there who do amazing stuff. I just don't understand why anyone kisses Kojima's ass.
Is that camera back on the thing? Oh, yeah, it is.
And Locust Labs is fucking rad. I hired them for the Hunchback. They're doing a lot of Hunchback work for me. It started off with just one thing, and they were like, yeah, no problem, and it came out in like a minute. And I went, holy fucking shit, what else can you do? And they're like, well, what else will you pay me to do? And I was like, I like you.
You remember me, Wolfie? I killed your other mom, too. So there's supposed to be the wolves from Sniper Wolf being here, I think.
I'm sure that it would be perfectly calm toward you in every way, and in no way, like, standoffish, skittish, or outright hostile.
Yeah, well, I mean, it did just steal her body, so...
No, it took it away for wolf burial.
Yeah, because she's one of them.
She has to get buried with full wolf honors.
I know, it's a pain. But you need to swap disc 1 for disc 2. You see the disc labeled 2?
No.
Huh? Oh, wait. We're on PlayStation 3. It's a Blu-ray disc. Dual layered, too. No need to swap.
Damn it, Otacon. Get a grip.
Yeah, what an age we live in, huh, Snake?
All right, let's see. What is he going
Wasn't
on
that
about?
a funny joke? We
I
don't
tune
have to
out.
swap discs anymore.
I just tune out, man. Whenever...
Wasn't that worth the possibility of crashing the fucking game again?
Yeah. Oh,
I will say, it was really stable on PlayStation 3. This is, this is new.
Is it sad or cringe that I used the line foreheads on
I think that would
foreheads
happen.
on foreheads in the Hunchback?
Oh, God.
Because, oh God, what is that? Those are gross. Blow those up. Those things aren't good.
Yeah, these are the ones that I was fighting earlier. They've got Glocks in their upper hand. But I've got more... I think that's all of them? Nope.
So, why would you build? Why
That?
would you build like a bunch of little walkie hand things to
Mhm.
hurt people?
Why? Because it's metal as fuck, dude. I mean, look at that. Isn't that great? What if it gets you like the face hugger thing from Aliens, and they hold little Glocks in their hand? Did I say that part already?
You know, what about the little hand, like, why Glocks? Do you think it's just like Kojima's like, well, they're little synthetic robot pals, so of course they like, Gaston Glock's design. Like, where does that thing? Why don't they have a VZ-53? Why don't they have a crowbar? Why don't they have a silly, electronically operated, like, chainsaw motor, like, nunchuck spinning around at 8,000 RPM as it walks toward
Yeah,
you? Why doesn't it?
I
Why
would be
doesn't
a
it
lot
juggle
more-
knives?
I would be
Why
a lot
doesn't it?
more
It has little
terrified
hands.
if the battle bots were here fighting me than these guys.
What if it juggled little knives? Like, what if it came toward you and it was juggling knives as it ran around instead of doing whatever weird shit this is? Like, this is really sad. It's like being attacked by circus implements.
Well, and they've got that patented Wish plastic casing, so it doesn't have to be 308 to kill these things. It just happens to be what's in my hands right now. I'm actually probably spending a lot of money I shouldn't. Come on.
I'm wondering, like, why don't they have more action movies? Because I'm not saying your choices in this game are ridiculous, but why do you think that James Bond didn't walk around with an HK-21, huh? Like, instead of a Walther PPK, why do you think James Bond didn't walk around with an HK-21, Deb?
It's really hard to fit in a tuxedo.
Ah, I see. So
He's a practical
Miss
man.
Miss
Get off me.
Moneypenny. As I like to say, 4 belts, please.
I'm in a combat high. My stress is maximum. I need to talk to my therapist about the recurring dreams. Like,
Or
I don't
what-
know what he was trying to do with this whole, oh, you've got to watch your mental health thing. It's so...
my mental
vapid.
health would be really weirded out if I had just had to shoot a bunch of little, like, flappy hand robot circle guys.
Yeah, they just flopped their way up to wherever I was and stood there waiting to get hit by a law rocket.
What if James Bond, see, Hamster of Wrath suggests, what if James Bond could have fitted like a 12-gauge son-off under the tux?
You know, I've seen guys who've managed that. Usually they
So,
need an
like-
overcoat too.
So Sean Connery is just like, Dash Vidanya, and then just blows their face off. That'd be a good Bond, actually. He's
Yeah.
like, he gets
That-
back to the office.
That sounds like a Bond that actually was in World War II.
He goes back to the office, and his ears are ringing, so he's really loud. And he's like, Blofeld had a hunting accident! And then you read the paper, and it's like, somebody shot this Austrian, like, gold merchant in the back of the head with a, hunting shotgun. And they're like, oh, James.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he got chained.
I like the idea of having a Bond that was based off of some bastard who was in World War II. I mean, in essence, James Bond was Ian Fleming's portrayal of his cousin, Christopher Lee, the actor, who was the real deal.
Yeah.
But if you played someone who is the real deal, Bond would be a bastard. He would just, like, halfway through, shoot the girl and everyone who had heard of him, and then take the stuff and leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't take a man who crawled... Oh, fuck. Who crawled through the desert with the SAS and then expect him to play cards with the bad guy.
No, he would just, like, you'd be like, oh, is this the bad guy? And then he would just shoot the bad guy in the face. And then he'd be like, I'm going to go through his pockets.
Yeah. Oh, he had the secrets in his pocket.
I heard a hilarious thing of, there's a guy had written this blog post. He was talking about playing D&D. And he invited his grandpa to watch Dungeons and Dragons, because his grandpa, and this was about 10, 15 years ago, so this was still feasibly possible then. Not sure if the story is bullshit, but he said that it was when his, grandpa was like 90, and his grandpa was all from the greatest generation, so they're all World War II guys. So he said he and his dad and his grandpa sat around and played D&D. And he said his grandpa invited his war buddies, and he said they basically war crimed their way through a dungeon. Like a bunch of old World War II guys. They were like, a goblin is sitting there and guards the bridge, and they're like, well, we better choke him out until he tells us where to go. It's just shit that modern players wouldn't do. They're like... They said that there was a bunch of goblins that were chained up, and there was some gold at the bottom of this thing. And so rather than free the goblins and then go get the gold, they chained the goblins to a cart and then used the goblins to move the gold. And they're like, if you want your freedom, you'll earn it.
Oh, good lord.
I was like, God, I wish I could have recorded that. Like 100-year-old people playing D&D who'd been in, like, the war. Like, imagine a wizard, he's like, I cast fireball, fuck him, just like Carrington, bam, bam! We gotta do the whole village!
At this point, I'm going to have to buy more fucking law rockets.
You just gotta go to, like, Eddie's Law Rocket or us. You think, no, okay, I have an idea. What if there was a place called Johnny Rockets and they sold law rockets? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was like instead of Johnny Rockets, like the restaurant or whatever, it's like Johnny Rockets. Come on down to Johnny Rockets. We got law, we got Larac, we got Panzerfaust, we got Fliegerfaust. If you could pick a D&D party from any generation of America to play D&D and record it to show how different it would be, D&D, Delta Green, anything, which
Okay.
generation of people would you choose?
I would take the officers of the Lost Battalion and put them in Delta Green.
Okay. That would be interesting. I shoot it with machine gun. I shell it.
Yeah, exactly. You say we were all in the military before, we became naval intelligence. The Marines have artillery.
Well, seems like I, by Gumshoe, could go down to that armory, request that artillery, and have it.
Man, they just left a javelin on the rollers.
Yeah, I would love to take people from. I would love to take like Victorian era gentlemen and make them play something like Dark Heresy. Because I think because they would just be like, "Ha! That woman dare accost me! I shoot her face off." Well, that's legal. Oh heavens! She bares her ankle at you. Ah! Lose 1d4 sanity. You have been morally accosted, sir. You could do the corruption mechanics very easily. You found a penny dreadful that contains lascivious pornography. Lose 8, you gain 8 corruption points. And he's like, terror. Imagine our founding fathers playing Dungeons and Dragons. I think Ben Franklin would definitely be like the bard, because he would use that excuse to drink and sing songs the whole time.
Yeah. The missile itself counts, or the launcher itself counts as a single ring.
Yeah, this is fire and drop. Law Rocket tubes, you can actually find the disposables. You can find the disposables for sale. They're about $400 or $500 to find a disposable. You can get them cheaper sometimes, but they're kind of fucked up. I'd love to have a super bazooka in pieces, but the last time I saw one...
Discount Spider-Man.
You do. You look like very bad discount Spider-Man. And I.E. Geth is right. Ben Franklin would seduce every enemy he encountered. If Ben Franklin saw his character sheet and he's like, "What do you mean a seduction roll?" And you're like, well, you can put moves on someone and get them to do what you want. He's like, "Oh, heavens! I seduce the eagles!" No, Ben Franklin, you don't.
Or, catastrophic success as well. Sure, you do.
The eagles carry you away to start your new life. You are married now. Victorian style 40k Inquisition would be hilarious. I think it would be the same thing. You describe guys going out, you're all right, you're walking through the hive. And as you descend through the tunnels into the lower levels, as the lights begin to flicker and you taste the corruption of foully exchanged air, the guy's like, yes, I take out my handkerchief. And you're like, all right, you cover your mouth with your handkerchief. Yes, very splendid, yes. The vapors are most foul today. I think a Victorian era party would be great because they would use violence instantly. If you go read Sherlock Holmes, they shoot a lot of stuff. They're like, "Watson, my gun." A Victorian era gentleman would reach for a handgun in the same way we today would reach for a flashlight. It was just like, yes, get the desk gun. It seems there's trouble outside.
You and the boss, you are from another world. A world that I do not wish.
I don't remember so many enemies being in this.
Of course they're violent. If they don't kill the rapscallion, they will surely elude capture.
There is always an end to it, but you are
Well, I mean,
General
you're
Sherman.
talking about people from a society where detectives hadn't been invented yet.
Well, that was the thing, is if you look at the Sir Robert Peel police reforms, the Metropolitan Police detectives were considered criminal by profession, because peering into the private lives of people before they had even committed a crime was considered immoral by Victorian standards. So to go seeking crime was against the law.
Mm-hmm.
You could only respond to crime. You could not go seeking it. That was violating the peace.
And that's why the police response to Now with that stupid fucking robot. Anyway, that's the reason that police response to a certain serial killer who is well known was so lackluster.
Oh yeah, Jack the Ripper. But yeah, the Night Owl says, seriously, the original Sherlock Holmes stories have people commenting casually about caving in skulls with lead-filled saps all the time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's... In the Victorian era, violence was accepted. It was like the Wild West. People think the Wild West was exceptionally violent. If you go look up the actual burial sites and everything else, you'll find out a lot of people died from accident. But if you go look at Victorian London, you'll find fuckloads of murders and unknown everything because it was just as violent. The whole era was violent. And so, like, London was nuts at the time. And they used to call London in the Victorian era Coketon because of the coal coking, leaving a layer of permanent soot on everything. So they're like, oh yes, Coketon. And I'm like, ugh.
When in the 40s, Britain finally began doing any kind of environmental impact studies and they started cracking down on the industry, type of moth that was believed to be extinct in London suddenly came back, and they realized that it hadn't gone away, just all the ones that were that color, being white, were getting eaten because they couldn't hide against all the coked surfaces of the buildings.
That's horrible. Yeah, that's pretty much the sad truth though, is it's one of those early studies of like industrial impact. But yeah, the Great Stinker London Fog Death. And no, we're almost done with Tex Talk's history, but the next one we're working on is really interesting. The next one we're working on, I'm not going to say too many hints, because I haven't even dropped the hint of really what Tex Talk's history is, other than the hints I've said already. But the next one is going to have to start in order to make any context ready. We're going to have to discuss...
His chest wasn't hairy in the last game.
Was it? I wasn't paying attention.
It wasn't. He shaved or something, because it was pretty clean.
Huh. Well, I mean, you know, it's, maybe you gotta look your best. Maybe it's maple beans. But one of the things that, well, you know, I don't understand the little goofy robot thing. It just seems like no one notices it but you, so I'm wondering if it's in your head.
That's a good point. I just
you know what I mean?
know
Like,
how it could jump.
But nobody notices it but you. But no, for the next one to make sense, after this one we're working on, there's going to be a rather interesting preamble where I have to give you some context into chemical warfare.
I'll take care of Rex. You take Vamp. Kill that monster. Get Naomi back.
Night Owl
Please.
Night Owl asks about your uniform. Would you be comfortable telling him what color it is? Tan, gray, or blue? Or do you not wish to disclose that and say, I'm a gray man?
My uniform shirt is tan. As a sheriff's office. Most in the state of Kansas are tan.
But aren't most sheriff's offices tan? Like
Well,
across the United States? That's, I mean, everywhere I've gone, I've seen tan, or they do the gray thing.
Yeah, gray is typically corrections in this state.
What's weird though is in some states gray is highway patrol. Like gay. Wow. Well, I mean, gay can be highway patrol as well, but I mean, I'm not going to discriminate. But gray is highway patrol, and it would be like gray or black, you know, as highway patrol, but with the white accents, like the high kind of thing. Because in Texas, the highway patrol, the Department of Public Safety or what have you, was always like the black and white or gray, and then the Rangers were whatever, but with a white Stetson.
Yep.
And then local municipal police were the blue or black shirts with blue pants, I think. And then sheriff's offices were always like brown and black, always. And always had a cowboy hat. Always had like a nice little, you know, like nice little cowboy hat. Now, I'm really the only ones that ever stood out, though. Anyone out there in chat, if you ever want to see something crazy, open up Google or whatever search engine you want and Google the Rhode Island State Patrol and look at their uniforms and realize that's not their state uniform. That's not a dress uniform. They wear it everywhere, all the time. All the time. That is their normal uniform. They walk around looking like a marching band. It's also why I based the Magistrata Mundanus uniform off of it.
Good thing I have 6,000 rounds of 308 on my body.
Yeah, see, they're now saying, Tex, what am I looking at? No, go look at that uniform. Like, they have, I think, 7 or 8 uniforms, including a winter uniform, and every one looks good. It's like they went through and said, every year, we're gonna look the fucking best. Like, every little... I mean, Deb, is that not a handsome uniform?
It's a pretty handsome uniform. They get voted best dressed state troopers quite often.
Would you say that they are best dressed, or would you say that's not true?
No, I'd say they're best dressed, but state trooper uniforms, you know, there's only so much... I forgot I don't have a medical thing.
Yeah, like everyone's now commenting on, I want those boots, they look rad as fuck. Yeah, that's what the Magistrata Mundanus uniform, it's that plus a Brody helmet, the flat helmet from World War I, plus a over flak armor with their name on it. That's the Magistrata Mundanus uniform. It's just like that, but cheaper material. And but yeah, they're I've seen one of their holsters, and they're really nice. It's a really sick. Like their leather's really good. So I mean, yeah, that's a really ridiculous one. So what is the what would you say is the worst dressed law enforcement entity?
Oh god. Who is it? It's Cincinnati that wears white shirts and black pants with a white bus driver cap.
Okay, hold on. Cincinnati.
I believe it's Cincinnati.
Okay, let me look. Cincinnati Police. Oh my god, you're right. It is. No, they have black uniforms, but they have white big bus driver hats that are huge. They
used to wear white shirts as well, because they were on tops all the time.
I see the one with a white shirt. It looks like that's their officers now. But the white shirt guys, they look like the white shirt and white hat guy looks like he's about to serve dinner.
Well, not only that, but on cops, like, they'd get into a fight, and all of them would come away with, like, fucking mustard yellow uniforms from rolling in the dust there. And they'd be like, alright, well now, you know, I gotta drop you off with Steve so that he can finish out the shift with you, because I gotta go change my shirt.
That is gross.
Because I'll get a write-up if I'm seen with a dirty white shirt. Like, we're county mounties, right? We're out in the mud and the dirt all the fucking time. It's all I can do to keep my boots polished, and that's my own little thing, is I like to keep my boots polished. I've mostly given up on keeping my pants freshly creased. My shirts are creased every time they come out of the laundry, so they generally have a nice crease in them, but not always. But yeah, no, there's a stigma about county types that they always look like shit because they're always, you know, one call removed from rolling in the fucking dirt with a drunk or chasing a cow.
Well, that's one of those things that people forget about police uniforms, is they may look dapper or whatever, but then you realize that while it does look dapper as a uniform, how's it going to stand up in the sweat? How's it going to stand up like hour 10 into a shift? How is it going to stand up when you've had to sweat through it or run in it?
So we wear essentially dress uniform pants because the sheriff likes to present a very historic, conventional appearance versus, you know, something with a more athletic cut. So just about every serious fight I've been in, I've managed to rip a pair of those pants.
Well, it means you're working for it.
Yeah, like they're tropical weight wool. They are not cheap pants. They're probably $100 a pair.
Yeah, no, they're not. I'm looking at police uniforms right now, and a lot of them are very stupid.
Yeah.
But nothing stands out as like really bad.
So we don't do outer carriers. You know, we have the silver everything insignia and all that.
Well, the one I know that's really weird is there's the Washington State Police. Look like a militia from West Point in the 1890s. Like the Washington State cops. They look like they're about to like hold the line with muskets.
Yeah.
That's their uniform looks like. Like hold steady. Like it. They need tricorns, and that uniform would be complete.
I think I just have to wait this guy out. Because at some point, I believe, hold on.
Officer Green, I understand that doesn't make a good cop. We're just talking about uniforms alone, not police doctrine. I understand. But what I'm saying, Green, is all things being equal, all training being equal, all conditions being equal, wouldn't you want to look really
That's right.
fancy?
I remember this now. Come down here and fight me.
Could you have a disco-ass blazer? Could that be
Only as a
that be
detective.
okay, only as a detective. I saw somebody make a cut of that guy's coat, and I realized that's just a cyberpunk coat. That's not too fancy. But it's a lot more functional cyberpunk clothing than Cyberpunk 2077's clothing.
Yeah.
So does he just spin?
I'm trying to remember how to CQC. I haven't had to this entire game. But I think what I have to do is I have to capture him and I have to use the nanomachine syringe on him. To suppress his nanomachines so that I may prevent him from doing shit like that.
See, if I was going to do a cop uniform, here's what I'd do. I'd make all police do the Detroit DPD overalls.
Oh yeah, the fucking blue flight suit.
Yep, riot control overalls. Heavyweight clothing. If it gets stained, peel it off and burn it. Has patches on it. Should have your blood type on the back and on the cuffs. Welcome to DPD. Paperwork goes over there if you can do it.
Stop. How the fuck do I catch this guy?
I don't know. Is there some magical item? Can you hit him? Okay, the one and only Laughing Man says, "Come on, Dep, this can't be the first stripper you fought." You told me strippers are fucking fast.
They are. They're quite fast. We were fighting this guy the last time we talked about that, actually.
It's one of those things where you realize, as you pointed out, all that core muscle control and leg muscle control.
Oh, they're athletic as shit.
Yeah, but the thing you pointed out was something that I hadn't thought of. You had said more or less that if someone knows how to run with heels, it's like those people who have the foot extensions for doing the super running, you know?
Yeah, they're running
Like
with a constant block.
Yeah, so they run with a constant sprint block, more or less.
How the fuck do I grab people in CQC?
That's a good question. But I mean, you figured out how to stun his ass. All you gotta do is like...
I didn't stun him, I killed him, and then I was hoping I could grab him.
You know, I'd say if you killed him, you did a very bad job. Because when you kill someone, usually they die from it.
Well, yeah, but anytime his heart stops, nanomachines heal his wounds and then kickstart it. So, you know, he only loses brain cells or whatever.
What if every time you did that, he just got a little dumber?
Yeah, like, you know, his motor fix is a little bit worse.
Did I ever tell you about the time it was probably one of the last times I played Chemist on TG Station. It was probably about early 2018. I got a admin blinked for giving someone, like, permanent brain damage. Did I tell you about that?
Not particularly, I don't think.
There was a guy who was kind of the bane of every chemist and everybody in science and everyone in medical, he would basically just start disassembling your wall at the start of the round.
Yeah.
And he would
Somebody
just
look
take
up
your...
how to fucking kill this guy. Yeah, this is not
R1
working.
to grab him, then press triangle to inject him. IDK what in the emulator that is, but R1 to grab him, then press triangle to inject
Well, I'm
him.
using a PS4 controller, so the controls are the same.
So R1 and triangle. He has to be at 0 health. Got it. So whenever we start this over, if you have to, don't worry, because oh god, I hate.
Oh no,
this.
I haven't used any of my rations up to this point. We're fine.
Flamenco makes you immortal. That's right.
Yes.
So this guy was the bane of chemistry and everything else. He would just hurt. He would just break in and start fights, and if you started fighting back, he'd then kill you.
Yeah.
And if you killed him, he would then admin blink and start messaging and get the admin on your ass. And while the admin was fighting you, he would then steal your shit. And then the admin would say handle it in character. And it's like really shitty stuff that got rewarded. It was post-Tide game, so things were in a bad state. So I got tired of this guy doing this thing, so I whipped up some real quick chemistry because I knew it'd be by, and I made this spray bottle that contained not only Sacanol and a bunch of other stuff to like knock him out, but it caused some. I basically put some mutagens and some other shit in there to make sure that it would destabilize his genome, and he would slowly just devolve. And so he came in and he tried to get on the thing, and I said no, and he started throwing stuff at me, and I sprayed him, just one little psst, you know. So he falls over, has a seizure, gets up, starts drooling, starts like seizing just incredibly hard. Every time he picks stuff up, it does the animation of his hands flip out every which way, so he throws the items around the room. He can't hurt me, he can't do anything, so he kills himself. So he can respawn, right?
Uh-huh. Except
problem
if
is
you
they
stabilize his genome.
Right, so they respawn him and he's dumber than ever, and he comes out and he's like, and he's like basically the bad guy at the end of RoboCop that they hit with the milk truck, you know? Like he's walking around as this blob of a man going, and I'm like, man, you shouldn't have fucked with my shit. And so he keeps doing that. He keeps trying to get in. Admin boinks me. He's like, did you make him retarded? That's what the admin asked me. Oh, hold on. I got a phone call. I'll finish this. Sorry, it's personal. 1 sec.
So R1 is only hot equipping my weapon. And unfortunately, he's only down for about 2 fucking seconds before he like chest bumps me like a bro. Yeah, see? If I get too close to him... There we go. Fucking hell.
What have you done? There. Now you're a mere mortal, like the rest of us.
Never. But can you kill this mere mortal?
Dude, I killed you like 10 times. No, that's no fair. Oh, these ones have railguns.
Look out! The rig just self-destruct!
Oh no, that's explosions. Oh yeah, I forgot. Here comes Femboy Ninja. And I'd say that with anybody, you know, with all the love to anybody that identifies that way. But you can't tell me that the guy had any deals put on his robot legs without thinking about alternate uses, right?
You ready for this? Sonny gave me the go-ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm wearing a camouflage mask that happens to have picked up a very unfortunate pattern when I laid on the ground last, I guess. But yeah, it looks like halfway between a gimp suit and a Batman who laughs.
How about it, undying man? Care to die too?
Sorry.
but I can't.
Tokugawa
digest
Heavy
yet.
Industries made my face shield.
Snake,
My sincerest apologies.
you keep those gecko at bay.
I see there's another person now.
Yeah. Yeah, Raiden has shown up to prance around
Did he show up with some plot?
now. Oh,
So
they want me to
now's
use
where
the
we bring-
railgun here. Okay.
Why didn't we use the railgun on the vampire guy?
Honestly, I forgot I had it.
I'll do my
Jesus Christ. Where's R2 ripoff going?
Oh yeah, the two knife guys are fighting on top of Rex. It was destined to be.
Let us do with blades.
That is a thinly veiled dick joke. The knife being there. I liked how Naomi tried to pull it out of its sheath earlier, and he put it back and like looked at her. Now is not the time. Ah, yes, we must fight with smaller blades for honor. Raiden, you're gonna get fucked up again.
Raiden, please. Leave this to adults.
This is cutscene Vamp. He's immortal.
You can't hurt cutscene Vamp. He's got, like, testicle texture on him now, for some reason.
Because he's been shot in the head so many times.
He's got ball bag skin. I don't know what disease that is, but he's got it.
And now Raiden pees himself.
Those are suicide geckos. They blow up and they
Oh wow, I would have expected a little bit more out of a fucking railgun.
You know, I guess we just watched this fight. Is this like the DM telling you something that's going
Yeah.
on against your will?
Uh-huh. That is the wimpiest sounding railgun I think I've ever used.
I know, it needs to have a crack, a pop, distant thunder, a boom, electricity. Something.
Like I can't even hear it over them having their stripper fight. Their flamenco
I'm
fist off.
like, I get there a couple or whatever, but guys, go get a fucking room. Don't take up half the scene.
Yes, I need
I'm
buy
trying to
more
kill
railgun
robots
rounds.
here. Go dance. Go find your dance time later.
And it's only 200,
Have a knife fight or don't.
200 driven points for a railgun round?
Maybe he's making a comment. I don't know. That's a lot of ammo.
Well, yeah.
This is like Oregon Trail at the beginning, and it's like, do you want
I
food or
don't
clothing?
think, I
And
don't
you're
think
like,
that map
no.
adds up. $200 pieces times 50. Oh, okay. It's 15 pieces at 200 pieces. Jesus Christ. Why would you set it up that way?
Well, it's because some people count different. I don't know.
Just tell me how many shots I get. I don't need to buy them in clusters of 15. Do I really
Yeah,
not get to do anything because I killed them all already? Alright.
I don't know.
Just hide
But I'm
my
gonna
oil
say
drum.
this. Like, first of all, Raiden, you need a fucking comb, right? Let's get Raiden a comb. I know they got him a robot jaw, but why didn't they get him a comb?
You gotta think that, like, you know, the hair gets pinched in, like, joints and shit, right?
That's what I mean. Like, wouldn't he have a comb? I've
Aren't
known
they
ladies
fighting
who
above
like.
me? Where did that guy land? Oh,
I don't know, but
There
I
he
know
is.
ladies who like fight MMA and they don't have long hair because it's not a good idea. What is this railgun?
above you.
Who made it? Like the Team Fortress Sniper Company? It's got to charge to 300 whammies before it goes boom boom.
Yep, this is the Manco railgun.
Yeah, but you know what it really would have? It wouldn't have a horizontal charge. It would just have a light and a chirp. It'd be like beep. It would sound like a camera coming up to charge.
Yeah, like a light meter. And particle effects.
If this was an H&K railgun, it would run on a proprietary metal that only HK had the patent for.
Yeah.
It would be like, what is this? And they're like, this is Krautonium. And I'm like, that's not real. And they're like, it is now.
Alright, back to my drum.
Because they like have a DM fight. Like, this is literally the DM telling you you need to pay attention to these two women in heels having a savage knife fight. You know?
Did anybody else catch that perspective? Nope. Raiden got goofed on again.
Oh, yep. That is pretty much what happens when you're just a really weak character that is allowed to lose for no reason.
And he's, you know, they hype him up as like this super awesome badass robot ninja. But then they warp him a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. They warp him a hell of a lot.
I do like the hyper jump on the cow thing there. It lifted a foot in the air and then... Alright, yeah. This is thrilling gameplay.
Thrilling game.
Oh, now I don't even get any gameplay.
Nope, they took that away.
Mm-hmm.
Raiden had to steal your thunder by having a sword fight on top of a robot.
I thought his blood was white. Why is his scratches red?
What I would do with that vamp guy is I would go find the hydraulic press, and I would press it until it was flat and the plates met. And then I would leave it there, and I would walk away.
This thing might come in handy after all.
Look at this weird robot that's helping us drive the big robot that was most assuredly broken, but I guess not very much.
Yep, not actually broken.
His natural healing abilities were enhanced by the nanomachines inside his body. But after so many battles,
Of course, she was just hiding, you know, like off-scene, hanging out, nothing big, just...
Well, you
hanging
missed
out
the
with her
scene where she
homies.
pulled his big knife out of his crotch holder there.
Sure.
Naomi,
That's a bit weird, though.
asked me to tell you something.
God damn it, Raiden. Can you not confirm your fucking kills for once?
I see.
The storyboard planning for this must have been a trip. You shoot the Moo robots with the lightning gun while the flamenco vampire fights the Iron Jaw samurai man in high heels.
You finally did it.
They warp him in his own game? Yeah. I played the first like 15 minutes of Revengeance.
No, I can't save you. You have to trust me, Dr. Emmer. Give this to him.
Alright, let's see.
You want the robot to kill him so it's not on your hands? I don't think that's how that works.
No, don't worry. It's exactly how it works. See, you program the robot executes your orders without thinking, so thereby it does everything itself.
Oh,
You know what I
Jesus
mean?
fucking Christ.
What was that, heroin?
Dude, you could have
He'll
died
settle
anytime
down.
you wanted. She's got like a fucking stack of those. She gave me one. I'm the bad guy.
God, can he die any quieter? Oh, God, you need to pour that guy into a concrete grave. He's going to come back and be louder than ever.
Change anything.
You see what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to say that that guy's a bad guy or whatever, but I would bury him in concrete.
Yeah, like wake up. Have fun, man.
Erase the past, nor can we forgive it.
He looks like 90% scar tissue.
So the only thing
That's great, but just pour concrete over his body.
Yeah. Mold him into a concrete block and dump it in the Marianas Trench.
liquids down below us.
Well, you know, I'm sure the Marianas Trench is already full of cursed things. We just keep dumping shit down there and it thinks we don't like it. There's probably some Cthulhu monster down there that's plotting to kill us. Not because it wants to, but because we keep dumping evil things down there.
Country.
Either that or it thinks they're gifts.
The only place where they are truly released from the shackles of the Patriots. The place where they can be free.
Eventually it will spit something back, yeah.
Outer Haven.
The
To launch the new
unique
that
pattern that has taken to my suit makes this cutscene a lot different.
Snake. You have been given life so that you may fulfill your
Doom, doo
purpose.
doo doom, doo doo doom.
When all of this is over,
Yeah, I think the Marianas Trench would be pretty gross. It's probably just full of evil stuff. There was that one good movie that snuck through about it. The horror movie. What's it called?
13 Ghosts.
Oh, no, not. God damn it! You're doing the thing I do.
we all must atone for our own sins.
Cabin in the Woods.
Must not pass
Deep
them on to
Horizon.
the next generation.
It's literally called Underwater.
Underwater.
That
Hey,
is
yeah, we
literally
get it
called-
eventually.
one
It is literally called Underwater. But no, that's a good movie. I saw that and I was like, no way, this is gonna be good. It's supposed to be like deep water horror Cthulhu. And I watched it and was like, oh yeah,
Oh,
pretty good
don't,
movie.
don't reuse needles. You're a doctor.
What have you done?
vamp.
Yeah, Underwater was actually a good movie. I thought it was gonna suck.
We're living corpses.
So I'm skipping this. She's got cancer. She just stopped the nanomachines that are holding the cancer back.
And how cold is it there? Yeah, they probably are freezing their nips off. I mean, this is in a bunker in Alaska, and there's been no heat running for a time. So, I mean, this is sub-zero, permafrost, permanently frozen.
Yeah, this is that part of Alaska, not like the green sometimes part.
This is the you die part.
Yeah, infinite Gatling gun fight. Isn't this fun? God, how many of these things can fucking Krupp build?
Crump? Oh, yeah, I mean, yes.
I mean, they're really no threat to me. I can just power walk like the fat kid on the Fat Boy Slim album cover. The Right Here, Right Now music video.
You know, that's a good...
You know,
that's
you know
a
who
good,
I'm talking
yeah.
about. The kid with the
Yeah,
I'm #1 so why try harder shirt.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Let me do the same thing back to you. Weapon of choice.
Yeah, yeah. That's a fun music video.
It's an excellent music video. It's Christopher Walken proving the point that's really important, which is if someone offers you the chance to do something fun and be in it, just go be in it. They called Christopher Walken and they're like, will you be in my music video? And he's like, I like dancing on the ceiling. And they're like, okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a classically trained dancer.
Well, I know
there's
that,
one
but I'm-
shot where they clearly used the stunt double because he's, you know, a little fragile, and was even back in 2001 when that came out.
Yeah, but he did really good.
He did kick ass.
I would love to get Christopher Walken to play a small cameo if I could. Like, there's a lot of people where if I could get them to do anything, I would get them to do a small role. I would absolutely put them in something. I'd love to put Christopher Walken in just a tiny bit little role, just to be like, yeah, I don't think so, just very quietly. Because I just be like, hey, Christopher Walken, you want to tell the audience about our next text talk? And he's like, I don't think so, and then he leaves. And I'd be like, all right. That or just get him to lie. He's like, the next subject is Tex is going to talk about penguins. And I'm like, that's not true. You better write a penguin story.
You're talking to my scouts all wrong.
Christopher Walken is Anastasia's phone. That could work.
Yeah, that could.
The Clanners, they're going to drop, and what we're going to do is we're going to challenge them to fight for our cities, and then we will destroy them.
That's a classic
Like
Rex pose.
And yeah, George Ledoux is back. Sometimes I can't afford to hire everybody, so it's not like... It's not a want to or what have you. It's just a limitation of time and money. So I try not to take professionals' times and just say, oh, for exposure, or stuff like that. I have to make sure that I'm not wasting time. And, you know, if the budget gets tight or costs go up or something, I have to balance that out.
Oh no! It's Metal Gear Ray, the anti-Metal Gear Metal Gear. We're gonna have a Metal Gear on Metal Gear fight.
The one that was really bad last time, that just did nothing.
It's not over. Not yet.
I really like to think that the real story of this whole thing is that, you know, the real story is that there was once a Russian kid who wanted to be a cowboy. And this is the result of that. He's
not
really
Russian
his
though,
story.
he's American.
Okay, close enough. But you know what I mean. He was American pretending to be Russian pretending. You know what I mean.
Let's finish this, Snake. Ray may have been designed as a Rex Jew, but you've got me on your side. You can't lose. Crush Ray and liquid with it.
My neighbor has a new sound system. It's exceptionally loud.
Oh yeah?
And they got it. Oh, they got it because they thought, you know, all that respect I have for others, people in my surrounding entirely overrated. And so they opted not to have that respect anymore. But it's a little bit less destructive than my neighbor, who I told you loves to do the... Well, I talked about it on my Patreon updates, on my streams, and many other things. Even on the podcast, we have a neighbor who mows the lawn about 18 times a day. You know? And I had made the joke that he was like driving the lawnmower around town because he had a DUI.
Missile launcher is empty.
And so I was walking to the corner store today, and I saw that man. I saw that man driving that little lawnmower at full speed, looking like Nick Nolte's stunt double, smoking a cigarette, and he waved at me. And I realized, this man hasn't been mowing the lawn at all. This is how he gets around town.
Yeah.
Because I think the court said otherwise.
Yeah, the court told him he can't drive anything bigger than a two-stroke.
Yeah, so he cruises around town, he just drove by, he's like, hey brother, how's it going? And I'm like, oh man. That's why I hear the lawnmower all the time. I'm not saying his mind is gone, but I heard...
Oh, that's a crash.
Excellent.
When was the last save?
I couldn't tell you.
It was before the fight with Jackass. God damn it.
Oh, that's not good. But I have heard probably, I have probably heard all of CCR's Green River through his sound system from start to finish about 20 times. So I'm not going over there to tell the non-vet to turn the music down. I'm not that brave. I'm like, every time I hear that, I'm just like, may you find peace, sir. Please do not destroy us. Yeah, as the man from France said, he really is the lawnmower man.
Mm-hmm. At least it's not Money for Nothing by Dire Straits. Yeah.
That's a good song, though. Lord Grimo says, that man sounds like a Charger pilot. Probably is. You see this professional human cigarette driving around in a lawnmower, and you're like, who's that guy in the camp? And then they drag him into the Charger, and you're like, oh no. His call sign is Alaka Blam. When he comes on the radio, you hear him do an amyl nitrate popper, and he's like, I'm up.
Oh, good fucking Lord. This is why I should have saved.
No, he's, oh my God. Yeah, but you'll do it flawlessly now. You'll just smoke the guy. You'll skip all the cutscenes. Blam, blam, handled. I'm gonna make you play the original Deus Ex. You have to, like, as a palate cleanser after this, or you're gonna regret doing Monday streams. You really are. You're gonna get so sad, sick, and sorry of this. You need something as a palate cleanser. I need to make you play Deus Ex. You said you've never played the whole thing.
I've never played it, yeah.
Never played it. Deus Ex is a game where if you play it like a serial killer, you'll do very well. If you play it like a cop or running around like a commando, you will do very poorly.
You have a single fact to back that up?
If you just walk around and you're like, wow, that sounds like you disagree with me. That's interesting. Come around the corner here for a second. And you like use your cyborg powers to beat their head off and throw their body 80 yards. And then you go back in and you're like, he disappeared. You can get so like ogged out that you can just be like, oh man, I need money, and just suck vending machines dry. You can do all sorts of bad stuff. It's great. It's a great game. Dep has never played it, and Dep is big into Delta Green and all sorts of fun conspiracy stuff. So really good, really well-written game, and very poignant even this many years later. So I would love to see.
But poignant in the same way.
Yes. It's one of those games where people play 20, 30 years later, and they're like, wow, this game was actually really deep. Now, the cutscenes are very primitive. It's an old game. You'll be laughing at them. But all the content in the game, you'll be going like, wow, that's actually really good stuff.
I'll take care of Rex.
But I'm going to say I would love to watch Dep play this. Like, I would love to watch him play. I would love to watch him play Deus Ex, because I know how it's going to go. You're going to be like, wait, I can just increase these skills and do bad things. I can just pop locks open everywhere I go. Yes. Wait, I can just take over robots, and whenever I see a robot or a guard, I can just take it over and use it to kill people. Yeah. Oh. And then you just start realizing you can do all the things. That's when the game gets interesting.
Fair.
How would you feel if you were like a supervillain and you'd hired some sort of hired help like this guy, and you're like, have you taken care of my antagonist? And then you look in on the camera and you see him doing this. Would you be upset?
Yeah, probably. I want competence in my quirky mini boss squad. above
I
everything
think
else.
so. What that's the thing is like looking good is great. Like if your mini boss squad is all jacked like American Gladiators, that looks great. That's fine. They have to have more than a name and a skill set, though.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Grenadier, the man whose organs have all been replaced with grenades. He sounds fairly competent. Maybe not long-lived.
Snake?
No, but it's something that, like, even if that guy dies, you know that he's gonna kill somebody, right? You know he's gonna like just absolutely kill somebody if that guy dies, and that's fine. That's a useful bad guy. You did it first time. We need a hero. Dun, 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 dun.
See, you know, that was an excellent use of that song in Saints Row 3.
Excellent. Yeah. Like, Kojima characters are just... You could add cat ears onto any of them and it wouldn't detract from them.
No, it honestly would probably complement the fight quite a bit.
If you added cat ears or just baby noises to the characters, you know, like dialogue, or you just like had a character whose name was Freight Train, and every time they opened their mouth, it was train horn sounds. Like that's the kind of on the nose Kojima stuff he does. And then people go, it's really sophisticated. And I'm like, no, it's detailed. There's a difference.
Yeah. Oh, height over bore. Forgot my height over bore on the Railgun.
You know, I once saw a guy who had one of those beautiful offset sights for an AR-10.
Huh?
Like really, really offset. And so I was sitting there looking at it, and I was like, "This is cantilever on cantilever, man." And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "How far are you shooting?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know." And I was like, "Well, I mean, have you tried it?" So we put it at 400, and he pulled the trigger, and where he was aiming and where he was hitting was like 6 feet of difference. And I was like, "Buddy, I hate to tell you this, but you don't have no gun for that scope setup." And so he bought a bigger scope. So now he can see things that he cannot shoot.
Don't give up. Above you! They're coming from above!
Thrilling gameplay with Kojima.
The robot goes moo.
The robot does go
all-
moo.
The robot goes moo.
It goes moo a lot. It goes moo more than I would care for.
The robot goes moo.
That one's got anti-tank like fucking toe tubes on the side. What good is that gonna do in here?
Depending on the toes, you know.
Gunner, infantry, 100 meters.
You know, we got that former tanker in the Legion, and we were asking them that. Like, "Hey, have you ever done gunner infantry heat?" And he's like, "Wait, what?" We were like, "Gunner, Savo, infantry, 100 meters." And he's like, "No, why?"
Just asking.
Yeah. Diggs asks if Texas Player 2 on the right. Yeah, I'm having to do this whole fight thing. It's
Yeah.
weird. It's a tie-in. It's a tie-in on my phone. And so I have to dial the numbers as they show up on screen. It's
We
like-
had to buy a first-gen BlackBerry, actually.
We had
to
to
get
buy a
this to work.
first-gen BlackBerry to do this. You have to dial it and then hit send.
It's costing us $10 a second. Oh, please. This is the things we'll do for you, for your entertainment, people.
We lied about all of that, though. We won't actually do it, but we'll lie briefly about doing it.
You know, due to budget cuts, they sent home the cop that lies all the time and the cop that always tells the truth. I just
So
lie
you-
half the time.
I heard that one. That's a good one. I heard a really good joke.
No, this is... I can't skip this because this is technically in-game.
I heard a really good joke about budget cuts. You want to hear it? Okay. There's two guys going down the road, and one guy is digging a hole, and then they wait 5 minutes, and then the second guy fills it in. And then, you know, they walk 5 feet, and they do it again, and they walk 5 feet, they do it again, and they walk 5 feet, they do it again, and this guy comes up and goes, God damn it, what is this? What are you guys doing digging a hole? What are you looking for? Why are you digging holes all up and down the yard? You know, what are you doing? And he goes, oh no, we're with the city. We're with the city. This is a city job. And the guy starts yelling. He's like, yeah, that sounds like the city, just digging holes and filling them in everywhere. And they said, no, sir, no, we apologize. We apologize. You don't understand. There's been budget cuts, so we had to fire the guy who buried the tree.
But after so many battles,
Okay, yeah, that's good.
he's finally reached his limit.
I can skip this one, though.
Save game. Save game. Save game. Save game.
I need you guys to remind me to save the game after, like, every scene transition.
What if we... But, I mean, I don't understand who's funding all this. Like, who's making all these little robots? Because I can understand walking away with 100 or 200 mercenaries or, like, a company or two of an army special forces unit going rogue. That's fine. That
But
shit
each
happens,
of these is the
but-
size and assumedly the cost of the main battle tank, like a Leopard 2 or an Abrams or a
Right,
K2.
so you've destroyed essentially like $6 to $10 million at least, and that's assuming that they had reached cost parity of modern main battle tanks, which I'm presuming they haven't. So you're rolling along, stomping all these things apart, $6 to $10 million per,
Uh-huh.
and
we're taking out like a
who's-
division's worth.
Yeah, so like a division of armored assets goes missing and no one notices. I'm sorry, but if you crash 6,000 cars, the world notices. It doesn't matter if you do it in the middle of nowhere. You can see it from fucking space.
Yeah.
I love how Kojima presumes that you can just hide something like this through a shell company. When you look at how they hide things through shell companies and corporations and all this other stuff, you can't just hand-wave that knowledge and sense. A lot of this stuff is actually fairly competently hidden, and even then, you can only hide so much. You can't hide everything.
Yeah.
Hence the term open secret.
Yeah. It's we're not supposed to talk about this, but
Well, yeah, it's like the Pentagon loses $1 trillion or something. Yeah, it'll be like the open secret. There will be like, oh yeah, that fucking robot factory we're not supposed to talk about.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, Panzer Fan, raises a good point. Can you hide an aircraft carrier? Because the thing is that not only that, can you hide the facilities to build one? Because you cannot build an aircraft carrier in something the size of a napkin, and you cannot distribute the industrial capacity to build one. You have to build a yard. Big industrial shit like this would require enormous industrial capacity in plants and a lot of vertical integration to do. So there's no way of just saying, yeah, we built this in a basement.
Yeah, there's no cottage building this thing.
No, if you want to see the most complex cottage building outside the system thing, it would be like the Horton brothers from, the guys in World War II who had basically told the Luftwaffe, let's build some flying wings, and the Luftwaffe had basically been like, no. And in that way, despite being told no, that this was stupid or whatever else, you end up with them succeeding with a lot of private money and investment. And so, yeah, it's not the super plane or whatever, but you can actively build fairly complex things even in cottage industry, but it is exceptionally expensive and difficult to do, and it's only in the hand of a handful of people at a time. Metal Gear Ray. What about Metal Gear Gem?
Jim's a good guy. I mean, he's never been the same after Pam died, though.
I heard that. I heard he took to the super glue to find his, solution.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that this thing would just click off weapons operational, no problem, after like 30 years?
30 years frozen, abandoned, with no maintenance. It's like a fucking Jeep Cherokee, I guess. You just change your oil and it's good to go.
There's a few things you could do that with in military arsenals, and they all start with the T number. And they end with 55. I think that's about the only thing that you could probably just turn the key on.
Well, even the Russians didn't do that, because they had guys at the tank parks whose entire job was, you must turn over 300 tanks each day. Turn them over, run them for a bit, then let them go.
Anti-tank missiles, man. This thing just pops off with millions of the fucking things.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And this Metal Gear Ray doesn't seem very well made.
For specifically being designed to kill this model of... Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mech food him to death.
Dun 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 dun.
Mm-hmm.
Well done.
There we go, yeah. Liquid! If you guys have never seen it, there's actually a pretty good parody of this game on YouTube called Modern Gear Solid or something stupid like that. The premise of it is just dumb, but it's got some good jokes in there.
Where's Liquid?
Where's Liquid? There's a cockpit on the thing. Where else would he be?
Wouldn't it be funny if, like, when he opened the fucking cockpit and got out of the more What if when he opened the cockpit and got out of the Metal Gear Ray, it was doing the OnStar, like, bing, 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 and it's like, we detect you've been in an accident. We are calling roadside. Yeah, we have detected an airbag deployment.
Fox.
We've detected an 85-year-old cowboy was injured.
Oh, wait. Best line in this entire game.
Snake.
Wait.
Think again.
I wasn't surprised by that. The guy just like and fell over.
Sorry, but that won't work this time.
And then Hamster Brass says, then he peed. Wow.
And Snake, the victor in this thing, just managed to break his fucking arm getting out of his... Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm really tired of Snake being crap. What if we just sent like some...
3 times Snake's age, too. He's like 90 at this point.
It doesn't matter. He's really, really quick.
Listen, Snake, I have trained how to shoot an M4 AR-15 pattern weapon. I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
You know... Why? Yahaha! Moving to secret crazy base!
That's not how you do that, Snake. As I was saying, I have trained as a bumfuck fucking rural cop how to shoot with one arm with a broken arm or wounded arm. You should know how to as the world's premier super soldier, even if you are geriatric.
You'll stay here to mark the silent warring grave.
Just use your syringe, man.
You know, this guy has a super secret giant submarine that apparently can hide, despite leaving, like, a hole in the water when it leaves.
Yeah, that thing is bigger than the Gerald R. Ford by probably an order of magnitude. Oh no, if only your nails were longer, you could catch the edge of it.
You know, that's the thing, is that if he were more interesting as a character, I would care about this struggle. But he isn't.
Now he's gonna have to cut off his fake robot arm.
Oh no, that sounds horrible, that he has to cut off the arm that's not real. With that much leverage, I don't see how he would do it, though.
At this point, why aren't they quick detach? Why does he still feel pain? That arm's been severed like 4 fucking times now.
I guess because he's weird. Most ships are fine with driving into, like, structures in concrete.
Yeah,
Most
into
of the
a
time.
pier.
Yeah, they're mostly pretty okay and fine with it.
Oh wait, you're gonna love this part. It was demolishing the pier, yet one-armed robot man can keep it from moving forward while standing on said crumpled pier.
You know, that's the thing, is them high heels with the little toesies.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, a smaller contact patch always gives you better traction. Didn't you know?
It's true. Yeah, that's true. But you gotta hold that shit back, because you can hold back 400,000 or 500,000 horsepower with your toesies. It's the power of love.
And he got run over.
Oh, that's what happens when you're weird. I mean, the dude couldn't lift a rock, but he can stop a submarine.
They were asking me which building it was that King Kong was climbing in the movie.
And
It's
we
the
get a
balance of things.
dramatic flashback to him talking to his girlfriend who
And then you showed up
is
and started mouthing off.
now real, but wasn't in the last game he was in.
I said the Chrysler building was in Godzilla.
We started arguing, and I forgot all about the tourists.
Because his girlfriend is now dating Colonel Campbell, but they're not really dating. They're just letting everyone think they're dating, and it's inappropriate, and people are disgusted by them and their affection for each other to protect Jack and their kid. I think they have a kid.
Oh. Okay.
I skipped the cutscene, so I forgot to tell you guys about it.
And that was our first date.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
We watched King Kong in your
But, yeah, dude couldn't lift a rock off his arm, but he held a large object in motion, as you know.
Uh-huh. Stop
just,
that much mass, dead in its tracks. Oh no, the lights are going out on his fake eye patch.
The character that I invested literally minutes of unskippable cutscene time in.
Oh, what is it? Do you recognize that whole number?
That is the Missouri.
That is Mighty Mo.
However, she's not fighting from the conning tower, so she's a scrub. She's fighting from the observation bridge, which is not historically accurate, and her shell salvo bracketing is very poor. She should have the ship angled better for coming on at targets like this. Also, she should have fired 2 volleys to correctly range the guns, and should not have engaged until she could also bring the secondary battery into form. I hate to point this out, but I know the naval manual for that ship, Kojima. Why would you fuck with me, Kojima?
Also, the fact that they would be bore sighting the guns at that range. There shouldn't have needed to be a bracketing.
Well, there is also no way you can actually flatten the trajectory on those out enough to, you know, make it work.
Oh, there's our little BO 212.
Look, I'm just gonna say this. Like, first of all, that helicopter's fuck. It has no tail whirly bit. Second of all, and here's the more warning thing is that the Missouri had missiles. The Missouri has all of those things. You cannot depress the guns enough at that range to shoot something that flat. At that flat of a range, the shells would go through that ship both sides because it went through the fucking Yamato. Does that thing have a belt thicker than the Yamato? No, nothing does. It would go through both ends of that thing without fucking stopping and then explode on the far side of it, starting a fire.
Yeah.
That ship would explode. A 16-inch gun penetrates feet of steel. Feet. I don't know what Kojima thinks he knows about World War II stuff, but he doesn't realize that when we make battleships that can sink a fucking island, that you should probably not think that something made out of metal is going to stop it. Because the last time the Japanese put something made out of metal to stop these things, it didn't go well either. What I'm saying is a 16-inch gun is really, really effective.
Yeah, it
They're
is
so
really
effective.
powerful, and it's specifically designed to break things that are built like that.
It's not only that. Dr. Bull proved you can use a 16-inch gun to shoot a fucking satellite into space. That's how much power that gun has. So if you shot it at whatever the fuck Dr. Eggman contraption that thing is, there would just be a mushroom cloud. That's it. If you shot a 16-inch gun at anything that isn't battleship sized and battleship weight and tonnage, it will sink. It will fall down and sink.
All right. We're going to go to commercial break real fast. I don't know about Tex, but I need to stand up for a minute. We'll be right back.
That's fine.
On a spaceship and get it the fuck out.
That takes time.
I really don't think it does. You go like zoop, zoop, and then you've got like two grappling lines in the old Robo Dick box, and then it's just crotch first into the sky. I don't care if it's sleeping. If you grab it,
you really want to explain to the 10,000-year-old avatar of death why suddenly it has Jado strapped to its dongus?
I feel like someone has to. That's what the arm toilet paper is for.
Hey kids, do you like breakfast?
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna love self-heating maple bacon breakfast logs from Randy Checkers.
Cool.
That's right, kids. Just crack my log like a glow stick and watch the magic happen. Delicious breakfast perfectly heated in less than 30 seconds. Move over, Jimmy Dean. There's a new sausage chef in town, and his name, Randy Checkers.
Warning. Randy Checkers Maple Bacon Breakfast Logs contain substances known to cause cancer in the state of California and is part of a balanced breakfast.
Randy Checkers Maple Bacon Breakfast Logs! Hell yeah!
Where's the other half? Oh shit!
Whoa.
He's gone.
I must go. My people need me.
G-17 to Delta. Come in, Delta. G-17 to Delta. The Order of the Imperial Oath reports a subject levitating and speaking in tongues in their lobby. Delta, please respond. Delta, do you copy?
Hey, it's Quinn here. Sorry, Delta responding to G-17. You said a man is levitating and speaking in tongues in the lobby. Let me just... Oh, yeah, I'm feeling that. Yeah, all kind of. That's really annoying. We're on our way.
Yep, that's correct. That's what they do.
God, he even runs like a fucking stripper.
How many strippers have you seen run, Deputy?
Oh, they're fast in heels, man. You gotta be careful.
Welcome to my theme park. Welcome to the park.
Oh God, why? Type of shitpost based Valhalla. An absurdist comedy club where all great shitposters exist. Where nothing is serious, where irony is the only language we speak. We go out into the world and we come back with new and greater extremities to dragging them in like a fresh kill so that we show them to other shitposters. And at the end of each day, the material is wiped clean and anew. The world is remade in new and more absurd ways, and the only way we can cope with it is through greater acts of shitposting. And this shall be our eternity. There might even be a feast of beans, terrible mac and cheese, pizza abominations, fucking carbonated sodas made of spaghetti. You have no idea. This could be ours. This could be our fate, and you are but one step from realizing this opportunity for yourself. I'm so proud.
Flipping off the helmet. Yeah, fuck you, asshole. Fuck you guys.
Just start shooting.
Losers.
Absolute fucking losers. We should probably get some altitude. Yeah.
You really gotta let them know, you know? You gotta hang on. Yep. There it is.
Nope,
yeah,
no.
Yeah.
Did you disengage the autopilot?
No, I opened the window.
And we are back. Gravity always wins, especially when I'm piloting the helicopter. We're go ahead.
Well, we were talking about about various things and the Magistrata Mundanus, and I'm gonna tell some people out there, Bruins is animating the Magistrata Mundanus. And I know that Games Workshop takes a very grim view of to anyone making anything, and so a lot of productions have shut rather than comply. So what I'm going to do is when we release it, we'll just release it in stuff that's tied with charity. So then Games Workshop has to decide if they hate cancer patients or not. And people get free entertainment. And I get to shit on Games Workshop. Everybody gets something. Except for Games Workshop. Fuck them.
Can't this thing go any faster?
One of these days, I want to rent out the Corn Palace for a movie. They said you could rent it out. Like, why don't we could do a BPL con and hold a movie viewing? You know, the Corn Palace. BPL live at the Corn Palace. We'll hire a jazz band to do the Naked Gun intro as we start.
That was a weird uniform.
Yeah, what is that uniform?
We called it the Johnny Cashes. That is the winter working blue uniform. So what it is except in everything but direct sunlight. That is a very dark blue. Well, it looks black in everything but direct sunlight. In really bright light, you can tell it's actually a very, very dark blue. Black web belt with a closed face buckle, brass. You weren't supposed to have anything on the buckle, but various guys would put, you know, surface warfare combatant officer badges or chief petty officer insignia or whatever on there.
She looks like an imposter wearing a uniform.
Yeah, You can tell that he's just seen like the manual photo of what the uniform's supposed to look like.
Well, she looks surprised to be wearing it. That's what I mean. As you know, your best operators are on oxygen.
Yeah. I do appreciate they've got a couple of Marines in the briefing, but they've still got their face masks on and helmets.
Well, the Marines aren't even paying attention.
You keep your iPro and your face mask on in a briefing when you want to be able to sleep without anybody knowing.
You know, that's a fair point.
Oh yeah, she's just lounging casually against a piece of pipework.
Well, that can happen, I guess.
Where did he come from? I thought he was in like fucking Argentina.
It's not important.
They skipped the scene where they wheeled the iron lung in. Yeah.
Well, you see what I mean.
The guy who looks like Discount Wesker, that is Johnny Shits' drawers with his mask off.
Because, of course, he has to look more handsome, you know, with his mask off, rather than the faceless shit drawers guy.
Yeah, they're using the super robot. It's got a projector on it for some reason, instead of an actual projector that would be in any of the briefing rooms aboard this ship. Johnny Shitpan. Yeah. Because, you know, you had to know that he was super cool underneath. What in the fuck? I don't remember that part. I sold their onboard projectors for nanomachine money. Did Kojima meta himself into this? Yes. Yes. Yeah, he just tried to feel up a captain in the United States Navy while she was giving a briefing to his unit.
Okay. What's his fucking deal?
I don't know. The nanomachines don't suppress his dick, I guess. Yeah, Meryl marries him like 2 scenes from now.
The corridor leading to GW is defended by directed energy weapons that emit certain types of microwaves.
Kojimbo, you mad lad.
That's right. And at that frequency...
Look at the profile of the sub. It shouldn't have been able to hit the pier at all. Yeah, like... all she'd have to do is be like, Marines, deal with him. And he'd be out in the fucking hallway getting beaten with PR-24s. Yeah. That should not have been able to demolish the pier like that. Yeah, I just reminded you of that scene. It's coming up. It's bad.
You know... I think I just know exactly what music I would get if I had to score the biopic of my life. And I had to put the episode, the moment of the lawnmower man driving around my neighborhood. It would be Jonah Jones playing Just a Gigolo. I think that would be it. Just that, Jonah Jones, Just a Gigolo, the remastered of it. Just sitting there having the moment of his life. Zoned out, stewing in his own moment, 1 foot in Quezon, 1 foot in 2023, and both hands on the mower, just headed for the horizon, having a good day.
I picture that to the bluegrass version of Gin and Juice.
Ah, yeah, the gourds.
Yes.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, Frito gets it. Was she though? She was like hanging all over Vamp and my new headcanon is that the oxygen mask Snake is using is actually hooked up to a bong and he's discreetly taking hits.
He's like, wow, this is fuck.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is she wearing two tie clips? She's wearing two tie clips. One of them's black, one of them's gold.
Again, like an imposter. I'm not
204
wrong in
is
thinking
coming
that.
up.
I'm not wrong in thinking that, oh, am I? Just
No.
like, she seems like an imposter. Like, first of all, what is the average age of a naval officer?
Of a captain?
Yeah.
45 and up?
45 and up. Of a major surface combatant? How old?
55 and up?
55 and up. And they typically look like they have a lot of, what's the word? City miles.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't look like they're just there to have a fun time.
Actually, only about a third of it is her work. Naomi was working on a program to destroy...
Hello, fellow military personnel. She looked like a cosplayer who was trying to, wear the uniform, but just had none of the correct mannerisms or experiences to pull off the character besides the uniform. I don't remember her role in Metal Gear Solid either. Like, they make a big deal about her, but I recall her being kind of a periphery background character.
It's weird when you talk about character. I mean, I've had people who think that I have one eye and one arm, like the character I portray.
She took my sister's code and worked it...
And I don't know what to say to these people. Like, that is a character.
I didn't have time to look over...
I don't know what you're talking about. I've always known you to be a Cyclops.
Shut up. You're like, well, you look exactly the same. You have a robot and everything. No.
Yeah.
First of all, my mustache is better than the characters.
That is.
Thank you.
Tex has no arms. Yeah. Oh, I missed a flashback there. Sorry, guys. I set the controller down in disgust.
The idea of having the character be one-eyed, one-armed, and all that other stuff is just kind of a nod to the fact that anyone who's a mercenary in that timeline would just be nothing but hamburger meat. Because no good or bad will save you in Battletech. It doesn't matter if you're God. If you're good enough to be remarkable, that just means someone's that much more likely to kill you first. They're like, oh, it's that guy. He's famous. Dead.
Yeah.
Like, it's like being the fastest gun in town. You know what I mean?
Just another hit. Give me my syringe. I needs it.
Are you trying to kill yourself? So, you're dead set on going to Haven yourself.
But, like, the character is just a fucked up person who has a lot of city miles. You know what I mean?
There's no need for you to do it.
But I did write the story of how he lost his eye, and it's an ammunition explosion. It's not anybody shooting him. It's just like, ha ha, bang. Just realistic shit that happens in that setting. Like, not everyone's like, had my eye shot out in this amazing duel where I saved this. No, just something blew up. Why did it do that? Well, it was defective, probably.
Probably.
The ammo was made 200 years ago.
Please, God, save the game.
We got it on discount.
All right, we got 15 seconds till the 204 crash. Let's see if it happens.
Dep, you want to hold hands while the end comes?
I don't know. You're kind of greasy.
That's fair. I am a greasy guy. It's because I work with too many gun things. Somebody thought I was into some really gross stuff, but I pointed out that all that lube is really for the series of rifles I own. Because they're like, what is that for? And I'm like, oh, that's the lithium grease I use on AR-10s because they're finicky.
Yeah, it's still no crash. Well, now I can't tell people about the secret of all of the VTOL VR skins I've been uploading for the BPL. No, we're gonna do more VTOL VR stuff here shortly, probably.
That sounds awesome.
It was a good time the first time we did it.
Well, more of it, man.
Oh, Zenith's Discord glitched out at 2:04.
That's funny. But yeah, when it comes down to like writing a character or whatever, I find that a lot of people out there think they can't write a character. And I wrote a character that became canon, which shows that it can be possible.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't because I was good. Someone just put me in.
All right, somebody has that same count for their MWO crashes. So it's something about overstack, overflow error or something.
That's interesting.
Sorry.
See, no, it's fine. I don't want to rant about the boat for 10 hours. Like,
The boat!
Why are you doglegging the boat like that?
But she's the mighty Mo. Didn't you know you can sail the Missouri with absolutely nobody on the deck?
Yeah, I'm sure. With no manning whatsoever, I'm sure that thing wouldn't just.
That's not the correct coat for that uniform.
Not only that, it's not the correct manning for that bridge, and that's not the correct bridge to head into general quarters. I don't want to go down the list. I could go down to procedures, and it will make me mad. Why is he running? Did he abandon his station? What the fuck? Where's his runner?
There are no enlisted men on this ship.
Officers only.
They're both ensigns. The guy that ran's an ensign. She's a captain.
Officers only. Look.
They're all wearing silk ties for some reason, not the correct wool tie, which is the same texture as the uniform shirt.
Yeah, but silk's fancy.
Oh god, now he's like, I can't believe I got assigned to the Missouri.
Yeah, why are the ensigns 10 years older than her? Well, because she's a special character, I guess.
Yeah.
Look, when it comes down to writing a character...
It's okay, my dead fish eyes show I'm scared too.
Yeah. But when it
Is her
comes down to
hair
writing...
regulation? It's supposed to be off the collar. It's a little long, but that style, you'd see it occasionally. There are two kinds of ways to do hair for women in the military. It's either like really short so it's off the collar like that, or they roll it up into a bun and then they use pomade to make it like glass so that there's no stray hairs. Both of them looked unpleasant, if I'm completely honest.
Incorrect angle for 5-inch dual-purpose guns. You would not drive with them like that. What are they doing?
They're hero walking on the stern.
Ah, right. Hero walking doesn't look good when you do it from that angle.
No, it doesn't. Replace the Missouri with the Kuznetsov?
Well, you wouldn't be able to see them from the smoke, and then also the ship wouldn't be motion. It wouldn't work.
Oh shit, it's Albert Wesker.
For a ship to move, it needs to have a power plant or locomotion.
Yeah. And the Kuznetsov just has a really, really good fireplace. It generates a lot of heat. It generates a lot of smoke.
So there's this thing called mazout, right? And mazout is about a step above asphalt or tar in terms of catalytic cracking of petrochemicals. The Kuznetsov runs on mazout. And while that's not a problem, you need actually a preheater.
Hey, it's Dennis Rodman.
What are you doing here? Oh, there he is.
I laundered these guys' ideas, then issued them new naked weapons, including that catapult you're gonna be riding.
Why is the catapult ID locked?
Business has been slow ever since.
Why indeed?
That looks like the MacGuffin from the first Mass Effect. Not a catapult.
No, that thing from the first Mass Effect was really dumb, where they walk up and you see the beacon or whatever, you touch it.
Yes,
and,
the beacon. That's it. Yeah.
So here's what's crazy, is I've tried to muscle through Picard, and in Season 1 of Picard, that whole plot, basically, like touching an ancient beacon, messages, robot uprising, you know, machine intelligence destroying all of humanity, stuff like that.
Oh, they hit all the same story beats? Oh,
Yeah,
there's a monkey.
exactly.
It fell out of his pocket.
Well,
Synchronized burping. That's what you taught that monkey.
it's a very good monkey.
The world's like this soda here. Once the bubbles are gone, I ain't got no use for it. It's worth nothing.
Fucking monkey.
I'm on the side of whoever needs me the most. You dig?
Thank you, Rennis Dodman. That's very insightful.
Rennis Dodman is my favorite non-character in the setting because while his motivations are mysterious as any other of Kojima's characters, this one is at least well dressed in a way that makes sense.
From the waist up.
From the waist up.
Ah, yeah, he's got the fire nanomachines in his fingernails, I guess.
Actually, there's a secret way of doing that with a match. However,
he had his fingers apart. Yeah.
Yeah. You also cannot do it for that long. I've seen someone do it in a bar, and it was funny because he was doing it to, like, look smooth to this girl.
Yeah.
But she wasn't paying attention. And so he stood there looking cool for like 2 seconds.
And then his fingers started to burn.
Slightly alarmed after that, And then he put his fingers in her drink. That's when she noticed. Needless to say, it did not go well.
Oh, good lord.
So, pro tip, guys. While you think you may need a lot of fancy stuff to make
like
a lady
8 people have held that soda. Why are you just giving it to that Marine?
Because you don't want it and they'll eat anything. Why is there a smoking monkey? Why does it prefer filters? Who knows? But look, you don't need you don't need fancy cigarette lighter tricks to get the dame to like you. If you can make a lasagna from scratch and they don't like you, they're not good people. Simple as. Good litmus test. If you can make something from scratch, like a good meatloaf or whatever.
Oh no.
And they don't like you.
Look at how
they're
they are
not good
mounting
people.
these catapults.
Yeah, this looks like something from the 50s. You'll be able to board communist landing craft from 8 miles.
Why do I have to hold the robot, Otacon?
I don't know. See that metal box behind her? That has a little vision slit in it? That's called the conning tower. You should be inside of that with the door closed.
Yeah.
It has at least 8 inches of armor. They could shoot the whole front of that fucking boat off, and that metal box behind there is safe. They can shoot the bridge off the boat, and you'll be okay. Don't elevate. You don't need to. Use the super heavy shells. Don't even put a powder charge in it.
Yeah, we're shooting squibs at this distance.
See, Zelcian said he made a Yankee pot roast from scratch and a chick didn't like him and found out she was not nice to animals. See, I told you. That's a good litmus test.
Yeah.
Told you. If you make a pie for somebody and they don't fucking appreciate you, they're probably evil. If you make a pie for somebody, an actual pie from scratch, and they don't like you, not a good person.
I feel the need to stress here again that we're trying to prevent Liquid from ending war.
I would have cracked off the whole battery already at least once. See, Cookie Mama's got it right. Wookiee made her chicken fajitas, so she married him.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that's kind of important. If you can't break bread with people, you're fucked. Like, if you can't share a meal together, you're in trouble.
I mean, he could enslave a few nautical miles, not the planet.
No, that's fair. I love how it has to open the little roof. I put some 16-inch shells right in there as he did it so he couldn't close it again. So it stops being a submarine and starts being a large surface target.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I let,
And if you can dump it into the hinges, then you can keep him from unveiling the deck-mounted railgun. He has no offensive capability.
then you call Rimpack, you know, ComSublant and everything else, and you're just like, hey, it's stuck.
Yeah, yeah. I have something that needs tomahawking if you're in the mood.
You see, you've seen me fight really stupid fleet battles, right?
Uh-huh.
In my games, quite frequently in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. So much so the operative phrase of "Don't make me tell you again, old man," in regards to France, has come up with it.
Moving to intercept, you guys are feet from each other.
I'd say like ramming speed. That would be my thing. I'd be like, ram him. Like, I'm willing to bet that 60,000 plus tons of warship will fuck that thing up. I don't think he has feet of steel in the hull, and I don't think he can move. So if you drive that ship through his ass, you win.
Wow, those are really slow missiles.
Yeah, man. Thank God he got the subsonic ICBMs.
Oh, I see. Yeah, they're... Oh, the Seaways work. That's nice.
Well, they typically work when there's that threat detection radar proximity thing, you know? Yeah, this looks like a World of Warships gaming.
You let the enemy open fire. What do you mean they're returning fire?
I mean, this is what Kojima thinks World War II was like. See, I would have held fire till the bow made contact, and then I would have pulled the triggers. I would have been like, what do you think a 16-inch gun at point-blank range would do to this thing? And the answer is all the damage. You would turn that ship inside out.
Yeah, you would Elmer Fudd the guns and probably blow the casemate. But you would also put all of those gases into whatever you're shooting.
Yeah, I mean, if the Missouri ran into this, you would see the side of that ship go in at least 2 feet.
You guys are making contact with it. Why did you have to catapult?
Yeah, have you heard of like a rope or stairs? Like if you had a
No,
ladder...
they had no landing choice. They're just flinging themselves against the fucking steel.
Yeah, if only they had some sort of ladder or something. But I mean, the Missouri ramming that thing would sink it. Like the Missouri ramming an island would sink it.
Oh, good lord. Oh yeah, the old man who fell and broke his arm in the last scene. He's just thrown onto the deck, it's fine.
Also, the other thing is that...
The battleship fired once, yeah, but only the front guns. Can you imagine how much that would hurt to have a catapult launch yourself hydraulically from the crotch?
It's not only that. I have an issue with something. Well, multiple things, but in specific.
Uh-huh. Oh, we gotta call Mom.
I would say, in specific, my point of contention is thus. Who built this ship? Are you okay? Like, which creature? Which shipyard made this ship? Like,
they had to build a new dry dock.
So Germania Worth ThyssenKrupp? Yeah, like Germania Worth ThyssenKrupp? No. Huntington Ingalls? No. Saab Kockums? No.
Yeah.
Huh.
To repair the Texas, which is smaller than the Missouri, which is about half the width and length of this particular ship, they had to build a new dry dock. Because we just don't deal with ships quite that size anymore unless they are super tankers, and we really don't need to dry dock those.
Yeah, they're designed to actually be just... God, those are... If you want to look at naval engineering, super tankers are some of the most brilliant things in the world.
Oh, they're terrifying.
They last for like 30 years. They don't need much maintenance at all. You can run them on a skeleton crew. You can run them on like no people. And they will last for about 30, 40 years with very minimal maintenance. And when you're done with them, you can just tear them apart and get most of your money back.
Yeah. Steel is still steel, and once you've resmelted it, it doesn't worry about the stress cracks.
Well, here's the thing that's kind of interesting, by the way, Save. Here's the
Thank
thing
you.
that's kind of interesting is when you look at modern carrier construction, they don't have any armor. I think the modern carrier has, like 40 millimeters of flak or something, essentially around the reactor space. It's like anti-spalling.
Uh-huh. You look at the damage that a blast alongside did to the coal. We're not designing our ships anymore for slugging it out with 5-inch shells.
And then you look at stuff like the Texas, which is New York class super dreadnought, and its sister ship, the USS New York, survived 2 nuclear blasts.
Yeah.
Like they lit a nuke off, and then they came back and it's still there, and then they lit the next nuke off, and it was still there. So then they towed it across the Pacific and let it rot a few years. And then it broke free of its moorings and they had to go sink it. And it took them a day to sink it. So 2 nukes plus a naval strike force plus, 50 years of service?
Yep.
They don't build them like they used to.
I really thought that I'd already put a sight on this thing.
Now you're doing backup iron sights because, Magpul was really hot at this point.
Yep, and that looks like a fucking Steiner D-ball.
What I'm telling you is that this
And that's
looks
an
like
M951.
This is the average way in which you can take that 6.5-pound rifle and make it weigh 11 pounds again.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. That's exactly how this goes.
Well,
I know because I own this rifle. I have a Comp M2 on an M forgery, and it's my training gun for when I have to conform to a uniform standard.
I just think it's funny because I know a lot of people who are like, oh, you like G3s, you like M14s, they're so heavy. And I'm like, right, but your M4 with all the doodle shit on it is heavy too, I mean, God, if you cut an HK, if you cut an HK down, like if you do an MC51 or an HK51 or whatever, you can get that thing down to like 6.8 pounds.
Yeah.
That being said, as an HK Smith, I wouldn't.
Yeah, there's a reason we don't do stuff like that in actual military service. The special guys, they're special.
Yeah. They're special, but it's one of those things where it's like saying, I could get a V8 into a go-kart. I could do that. That doesn't mean you're going to enjoy driving, man.
Yeah.
You're going to have a really bad time.
Just fucking die.
Now, the thing is, though, is that the HK51 and the MC51 are not bad ideas. Taking an HK 30 caliber rifle, because it is relatively blowback, you can cut that thing down quite a bit, and it's actually quite still friendly to stuff like suppressors and things like that. It's a lot less finicky than just a direct impingement system, so you can make it work at various lengths, and it's fine. And as well as if you take it down to like a 9 or 10-inch barrel, or even an 8-inch barrel, in 30 caliber, you lose a lot less oomph than when you take 5.56 and half the barrel length. So it's a lot less of a trade-off, and so you end up with something like AK plus performance out of a much shorter barrel. The issue is everything else. And I do mean everything else. Like, I looked into the logistics of making it happen, and it just became a list of parts that are obscenely hard to find and difficult to make.
Yeah.
Well, you would need to do basically what I did to yours, as a starter to make everything fit right. But then you would have to essentially put in a lot of HK21 parts, especially in the buttstock and the inside the buttstock compensator. You would have to replace both of those, like, and put the HK21 parts in there. And you'd have to run a clubfoot stock in order to fit it, and then you would have to change the locking wedge, I think, to the 41-degree locking wedge and slow it up just a little bit because it does like the bolt bounce. Not impossible, just that those alternate locking wedges were not imported for very long, and so finding the people who make them is sometimes difficult availability. And what's funny is if you go buy them from HK, in their inventory, it's not a locking wedge. It is stoik, or stick. So it's just like the stick. And you're like, I need an HK stick. And they're like, how many degrees is this stick? And I'm like, ugh. Why can't you guys have normal numbers for parts like everyone else? Why do you have to be like IKEA?
What the fuck are these supposed to be?
I don't know. Air conditioning?
Are you telling me this is a helipad?
Yeah, he's got to land a very tiny helicopter there. Oh yeah, these are the special commando lady people, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They are.
That you just stood there and let them hose you with a P90 and you just like,
Yeah, just filled them full of 308. No big deal.
Well, fuck them. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
They're learning after fashion. Do I have to go in here? Oh, I forgot. I have to sneak. I have the wrong grenade for this. Egad! Alright, we're going to sneak. They'll never find me.
No one can notice, remember, if there's no one to notice.
Alright. Ooh, and a ration. I love floor food. And an RPG 7.
I'm gonna say this. Maybe it's like coming from a broken home or whatever, but like if the food was on the floor but it was still on the plate and no one had stepped on it, I'd have it.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's still warm, like someone just put it there, sure, that's a trap. But if someone left me an offering of food did not use like law rockets in their base, I'd consider it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like if there was a sandwich there and a little note that said, please do not destroy the people in these cubicles, and they had made me a sandwich as offering, and they had really tried.
Yeah, it's not like a single slice of bologna on white bread.
No, like they literally went out to like a deli and they're like, this is the stop the sociopath from Outer Haven sandwich, right? And they have that.
Could you make this full auto? Sir, this is a Wendy's.
Sure can in Minecraft.
There's actually a guy who got arrested for that.
What, making a machine gun in Minecraft?
For making an in Minecraft joke about, like, attacking a senator or something.
Oh, God.
He was a Texan. Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's just like, in Minecraft is a funny joke when you're like, haha, just funny, but you gotta know the limits of the joke or you ruin the rest of it. You ruin it for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Like, you can say something like, oh, pay taxes in Minecraft, and that's funny. But you can't, like, that's the problem with good jokes, is inevitably someone fucks them up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, God damn it. That was one of the good jokes we have, and then we have to throw that card away.
Yep.
And when you ruin the good jokes, It really makes me upset. So what kind of squats do you have to do to be able to jump like 3 stories? I'm wondering.
Without breaking anything? I just assume they have robot legs.
I was gonna say, like, what gym program, like, what ass blast method is there for, like, being able to jump multiple stories?
Yeah, now this is the force combat section in every Metal Gear game, because they haven't anticipated that I would just do this anyway.
I don't think they're meth squats. People who do meth squats are really stringy.
Yeah.
This is more like roller derby. These are roller derby bodies. Step 1, stop a submarine in... Step 1, stop a submarine in high heels. Ah!
Yeah.
So that's their CrossFit. It's like it's a bunch of ladies in high heels stopping like something, and they're like, "All right, push against the submarine, Linda. You got it."
Hey,
5 more minutes.
Which hold on. Next time I do a reload, watch the reload.
All right.
Specifically, watch the charging handle. I believe it's just a pipe welded onto the cocking tube that sticks out at a 90-degree angle.
Well, you can actually have a fixed charging handle knob, but that's not a common modification anymore.
Yeah, well,
because the problem is if it's fixed in position, you can accidentally wrench it inside the cocking tube and change the aperture of it. So while there were some that were like fixed, stuck out at a 90-degree angle, you would accidentally knock it against stuff, and then God, you can knock the gun out of battery. You can do a lot of different things. So it's really not a good idea.
Yeah.
I've seen the modification done though. I have, where you put like an MP5 knob on it, essentially, but you need to give it more than one finger of purchase because it's in G3.
Yeah, and the spring is strong as fuck.
The spring's a garage door spring, and so it's like, yeah, you need like 2 fingers of purchase minimum, or it'll just rip right out of your hands.
Yeah, here, look, see?
Come on. Okay, you keep getting interrupted.
Yeah, it's because I keep getting shot.
It goes flat, so that is correct, but it is an oversized handle.
Okay.
Like, that is not the standard charging handle. The standard charging handle has an actual indent in the middle where your first and second finger is supposed to go.
Yeah, it's a 2-finger purchase charging handle.
Yeah. And then the standard one in the G3 is 1.5 fingers, and I always replace it with the HK21 one because... Why? I'm sorry, but I do not need to, like, lose grip permanently in my fingers charging an HK, It is a bastard to charge those things.
It is. Man, you haven't checked on her before now?
Well, but what I was gonna say is, like, what kind of squats do you do to, like, jump? And I don't mean land from 3 stories. Let's say you can just magically do that because you have shock absorber feetsies, right? You have shock absorbers, super, like, myomer circuitry feetsies, right? Oh God, she's doing the marionette thing, and that creeps me out. I told you, man. I saw a guy in a puppet show, and he weirded me out.
I didn't say anything because, you're talking about that. But yeah, this boss battle can marionette people.
Oh no, it's bullshit octopus. I'd be like, okay, you've got a desert eagle, right?
Why would you put the long one to your head?
That's a lot of, like, you know what I would do, honestly? I mean, even though she has, like, obviously worked out since the first game, that's a desert eagle. So I'd be like, okay, hold it to your head. I'd wait 45 seconds. You'd have to put it down. I'd just be like, all right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And there's Johnny Shitpant. Yeah, didn't you notice that these ones just collapsed? They didn't fade away into nothing?
Psycho Mantis. No, that was another me. Can you hear the screams?
So this is a puppet puppeting a puppet puppeting puppets puppeting puppets?
Yes.
Alright. I just wanted to know if I had seen all the layers.
Yeah, yeah,
So what
yeah,
do you think
yeah.
she's got in those little pouches there?
I don't know. I guess
Think that's
whatever
where she
those
keeps
rockets
snacks,
are.
or-
That's where I keep snacks.
I know, you've told me.
Right now I've got trail mix in mine.
Loose or like in a bag?
In a bag.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say like loose.
Yeah, no, it's in a little extra pistol mag pouch that is high up on my chest, so I don't confuse it for actual magazines.
It'd be funny if like you were at a crime scene. Okay, that would be funny. That'd be your job. But it'd be funny if you were at a crime scene and you had like the bubble, the bubble yard, you know, the yard of bubble gum.
Yeah,
thing
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
Yeah. And you had that in your front pocket, and then you stick the little bit of bubble tape out, and you just put it in the corner of your mouth, and you just slowly pull on that from your pocket as you're like taking a, you know, just somebody's deposition. You're just sitting there writing it down. Like, You just keep pulling that gum out.
Let me see.
Do you think this is what's going on in Snake's head? Like, this is just what's going on in his head, but, like, in reality, he's, like, on the floor shitting as hard as he can and, like, drooling and screaming. He's like...
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Is this really all I've got that's... I haven't bought anything else that's anesthetic?
What's anesthetic?
If I put her to sleep, then she can't get hurt anymore because she's...
Wow. This looks like the animators went on strike.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
what
much.
This looks like. It does not look good. So you're shooting at someone with a Ruger Mark II.
Yeah, but one that shoots trank rounds.
Apparently not. She's taking her Wheaties today.
Yep, so that's not working. Okay. I forget how this one's supposed to go, but... that weapon's useless. Okay.
Yeah. Trank resort. Trank pistol no work. Resort to law.
That's the way I do, buddy. Yeah, okay, so that's what I was trying to do to Meryl. I mean, I bought 125 of these fucking things, right?
Yeah, seems like.
And it's really hard to puppet bodies when they're in pieces.
I agree.
It does not appear to be working, though.
Well, I mean, look, if it's law rocket proof, that's not a good sign.
It's peace or law. I don't make the rules. Yeah.
Just enforce them.
Do I shoot the strings off Meryl? Is that what it was?
I don't know, man. It looks like Meryl's animations have not gone well.
No, they haven't. Or do I shoot the doll? Maybe that's what it was. I shoot the doll. Where are the dolls?
I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, the Beauty and the Beast unit members' special power is to drain the animation budget.
Exactly. You know what? We are coming up on time, so why don't we call it and we'll start with the boss battle next time.
Yeah, we'll Google how to beat up Screaming Mantis and then how to make sense of Kojima's Nightmare. In that order.
It's an 11-step operation, says Confessions of a Ladder Maker.
Oh. "11 steps."
Nice. Okay. So, yeah, we'll call that then, I guess.
And then I'll see you guys tomorrow for my stream, where I'm probably going to play something stupid. And, let's see, what is it? Next up is Quish's Cooking on the Rim.
Yep, Cooking on the Rim with Quish.
By the way, Dark Lodestar has an alternate. Step 1, power off game.
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually really simple.
I know that they ape the, you gotta plug in controller too bullshit. I just don't remember exactly what it was. So, yep, we'll deal with this later. You guys have an excellent rest of your Monday. I gotta go to work here in a bit, so I'm gonna relax.
Alright, have some fun, and thank you for tuning in. Is everyone happy after some technical difficulties?
Speaking of technical difficulties, the controller's not working again.
Emptying magazines is something he can't see, and Raiden doing Tai Chi because he's had a stroke.
He just stick his hand up my ass?
Well, you had to check your pulse.
Oh yeah, it's loose. He's dead. What the fuck?